What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants, no hate. So Tyson Fury, he did an interview. He took to Twitter. There's an article. I don't need to read it. He basically said that he is done with boxing. You know, everything he needed to do in boxing is complete. Okay, he said that he wants to be the richest athlete in Forbs this year. Then he says he wants to be in a Hollywood movie, right? And it's funny because this is the same guy that said money means nothing to him. And I was telling people that, no, he's full of it. Why he feels the need to say that is beyond me, because if he's saying he loved the fight, is the thrill of competition, then he would have already fought AJ by now. He'd already fought Usyk by now. He would have already fought, any other top fighter by now. You know, he's the same guy that said, I know millionaires and they are unhappy. They're miserable. Money doesn't bring happiness. This is him saying this. The money doesn't mean anything to me. He said he never came back for the money. Remember, I made the video and I posted everything up for everybody to see. And let's all hear Tyson Fury say these very words. So this is not Aries making this up. This isn't Aries misinterpreting what he said. And this is why when people would make these dumb comments like, yeah, but he got a family to feed. Yeah, exactly. So how are you not doing this for the money? Doing it for the money, but putting your best foot forward, training your ass off and being in tip-top shape and being the best that you can be. Yeah, that's part of it. You want to keep making that money, then you want to keep winning, and you want to look impressive, right? Well, you know the funny thing is, right? For a person to be so indecisive and change their mind so much, it gets to the point where if you can tap into your common sense, you realize, no, they're not changing their mind. This person is just a liar. This guy was at some event, and that guy, Sandri, however you say his name, the MMA guy, he ran up playing, hugging on him and whatever, and they was talking about fighting. He's like, nah, I'm not getting no cage. I tell you that right now. Nah, I make my money with these, and I'm a boxer, man. This is what I do on my feet. I'm not going to no cage. Now, what did he say? He said after he beats Francis Ngannou, he's going to fight him in the rematch, but in the cage, because he think he can beat him in the cage. Y'all really think that that's true? Notice that he didn't put that on his things to do list, right? Tyson Fury is not fighting anybody in the cage. He's not fighting anybody. Even if that person was 10 times smaller than him, he's not fighting anybody in the cage. He's trying to get as much attention to this fight as he possibly can, and that's pretty much how that goes. As far as him talking about he's done everything and he has nothing else to do in boxing, doesn't that just look, for us that know what time it is, we already know he never wanted to fight AJ. I don't give a shit about you don't like how AJ fight or you think he'll lose, that AJ will lose to him. I don't care what you think. He obviously don't see it the same way. If not, why not just beat AJ, beat Usyk, go on with your life? See, I gotta say this again. Floyd Mayweather retired. He already had his exit strategy. He knew what he was setting himself up with. $300 million against Conor McGregor, and Conor was on top of his game. Nobody's talking about no damn Francis Ngannou anymore. He's no longer with the UFC. Nobody's talking about him anymore. So, Fury has always praised Floyd and his business sense and all that. Isn't it the same man that said, I'm not a businessman, I'm not a model, I'm a boxer, when he was trying to be sarcastic and kick dirt on Anthony Joshua? But like I said before, he was on the cover of GQ magazine, just like Anthony Joshua. Now all of a sudden he want to be the richest athlete in Forbes. Okay, yeah, everything he threw at Anthony Joshua, he's trying to do himself. So you see the problem with all this star power thing. See, Fury's not as big a star as he think he is. But even with the star power that he has, the man is letting you know clearly, He doesn't give a shit about boxing no more. It's not something he wants anymore. And the fact that he's trying to put a fucking MMA guy over that has no real boxing experience, this is no different from fighting Jake Paul. In fact, it's worse because Jake Paul at least has, 9 fights, something like that by now? You know, it's no different. Okay, and you know what? If he would have just bowed out gracefully, gave up his WBC title and said, you know what, man, I've did everything that I needed to do. I really don't have an interest in fighting AJ or Usyk. I just don't. You know, right now, I just want to do what I want to do. And you give up that WBC title, nobody cares. You can do whatever at that point. Despite the people that will say, why don't he fight AJ? Why don't he? No, it doesn't matter. You're no longer holding up anything. This man has held that fucking WBC title for 3 years and has never had a mandatory. And y'all don't see the favoritism there. Y'all don't see that this man has been given, hey, this is your little playground. You do what you want, Fury. Y'all don't see that? Y'all really think that this guy hasn't been protected? But he fought Wilder, yeah, and he beat Wilder every time, and he knows he can beat Wilder. And that's his claim to fame. I fought the hardest puncher in heavyweight history. Listen, 1 minute Wilder's a bum, the next minute he's the hardest puncher in heavyweight history. Can't say nothing about his skills, though. Yeah, but his power makes up for it. Yeah, okay, right. And yet he says that AJ's a bum. AJ can't compete with the elite guys, but he won't fight him. Kept moving the goalposts to make AJ, feel like, man, look, you want to fight or not. Did the same thing to Usyk. And now he spills the beans on himself. I don't care about the money. Money means nothing to me. I know rich people that are miserable. Money doesn't buy happiness. I don't care about that. And that's why, like I said, don't come telling me nothing about he has a family. I know this. This is why I'm saying, why are y'all falling for the nonsense that he says? So my whole thing is, if nobody's going to speak up and say anything or do anything, and this guy's just going to, hold on to this belt. And this is what I'm saying. You want to fight this guy in Ngannou, no problem. But why are you holding on to the WBC belt? And then you talking all this retirement shit. It's just when you look at what boxing has become. I was just sitting here watching Evander Holyfield versus Ray Mercer the other day, and it's like, even when fighters are no longer in their prime, but that hunger is still there. And these guys, when they're fighting, like the title was on the line, they were fighting like everything was at stake. These guys are not really fighting like that now. I mean, for the most part, you have some wars and some good fights, and yeah, you get some here and there. But I mean, just overall, nah. Because all the millions that they made, the money, what was going on, yeah, they wanted to make this money, but these dudes they wanted to fight. What fucking champion? What boxing champion? What fighting boxing champion doesn't want to beat all the top guys in his or her era? And then trying to make us believe that Francis Ngannou was more dangerous than Usyk and Anthony Joshua. He's shitting on boxing opponents, but building up Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou has less fights than Jake Paul. He has no fights. I don't care nothing about Mike Tyson training him. Who cares? This dude, I mean, unless Tyson Fury is just gravely out of shape and just completely lost it, he has no chance of beating Tyson Fury. No, he doesn't hit harder than Anthony Joshua. No, Ngannou doesn't hit harder than Deontay Wilder. At least not with the right hand, he doesn't. And I don't think he hits harder than any of those guys. Bottom line is, he's not a boxer. He's not a boxer, and you're fighting Francis Ngannou. So my question was this a WBC title defense? Because I don't understand. Oh no, it's not for the belt. Okay, right. So it's about the spectacle. So he's not doing what Floyd did, because Floyd was no longer champion. But it's about the spectacle, right? So this is how selfish and greedy this guy is. He wants to fight Francis Ngannou, so it's not a title defense, and it shouldn't be. What the fuck is Francis Ngannou did to deserve one, right? But I want to hold on to the belt, though. And Mauricio Suleiman, hey, Fury, do whatever you want, take your time, no rush. So I didn't find it really interesting. It's just more the same. But you know, it's like when it comes to Tyson Fury, it's always the same thing. And so yeah, for him to say he's gonna fight him in a cage, he's not fighting Francis Ngannou in no damn cage. It's not gonna happen. After he beats Francis Ngannou, you know, whatever he chooses to do, talking all this, he wants to be the richest athlete in Forbes magazine. And shit, everything that this man claimed meant nothing to him. Now all of a sudden, now he's contradicting himself. It's no, he had a change of heart. No, the guy is just a habitual liar. Tyson Fury just says shit, and then he contradicts himself, and you can just pull up the receipts, and his sheep will sit there and make excuses. But this dude, I mean, I don't even understand why people like Tyson Fury as a fighter. I just don't. Simply because I don't care about, yeah, the guy can fight somewhat, okay, but he's a cancer to boxing. And like I told you, I'm not a boxer fan. I just love boxing. I love combat sports. It's not about the fighter. Yeah, I enjoy a good fight, a great fight or whatever, but it's not about the fighter. Like, oh yeah, that's my favorite fighter. No, certain fighters I like more than others. Yeah. But you hear me call it straight up and tell you, I don't know that this guy's going to win just because I want to see him win. I don't know that he can win. We'll find out come fight night, because that's just the way things go. We're in an era of time now where, oh, it ain't no need for him to fight because he'll beat him anyway. Right. You shit on boxers, but you big up a fucking MMA guy with no boxing experience. As I said, Jake Paul would be a better opponent than fucking Francis Ngannou. The only thing Francis Ngannou got is more size than Jake Paul. That's it. I seen the little workouts he was doing. I see how stiff he is. I see how unbalanced and uncoordinated. It's like, man, come on, man. This is a fucking joke. This is a fucking joke. Now, I won't be tuning in to watch it. I really don't care for it at all. But you guys need to understand, this is no different from him. I mean, it's even worse than him fighting Jake Paul. Real shit. Real shit. But it is what it is. And it's about the spectacle. But if this man beat AJ, if he beat Usyk, you know, he don't really have to beat Andy Ruiz, but why not, right? If he beat these guys and say, man, I beat White, I beat AJ, Usyk, you know, I beat Wilder, I beat Andy Ruiz. He ain't gonna fight Joseph Parker because they're brothers all of a sudden. But yeah, just saying. Then it's like, okay, I'll clean up the division. Then he's talking about Joe Joyce is not from his era, and what does it matter? You're not even fighting the guys that was talked about from your era. What does that matter? So, Francis Ngannou is from your era? The guy just contradicts himself. He's a walking contradiction. Hopefully something happens where this man gets stripped of his WBC title because he's too selfish to just give it up. You know, and maybe we can get a fire sparked in the heavyweight division and bring some interest back. Because right now the heavyweight division is fucking shit. It's shit. Too much, you know, broken promises and controversies and all this nonsense. So I just wanted to talk about that for a minute. And, you know, Tyson Fury has been holding up this division for the longest. He's not doing shit in terms of boxing. And he acts like he's doing boxing a favor. But he's not. What's good for Tyson Fury is not necessarily good for boxing. That's exactly what we're seeing right here. You know, all that I'm from the streets. I come from the bare knuckle background, and I'm this, and I just love a fight, and I'll fight. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you fight with your mouth, and then you sit up and shit on every other boxer and try to make them look small and petty towards you because your sheep eats it up, and they believe whatever you say, even though they watch you contradict yourself. You know they'll make excuses for you, and that makes him feel great about himself. But when you hear him sit and shoot certain ideals down, certain lifestyles, certain mindsets, then turn around, and then he's basically displaying the same shit that he just, you know, said he has no interest in and means nothing to him. So you guys obviously have a mind of servitude that believe this guy, and you like being lied to. So what can I say? Anyway, never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people. And I will catch y'all on the next video.